Hi, my name is Andrew Douglas, founder and creator of Dojo University, our bagpipe school on the net. Thank you so much for requesting your 6 steps of the bagpipe tuning cycle free guide. The report is queued up to be sent to the email address you provided. Just please allow about 15 to 20 minutes for delivery of the PDF, as it takes a bit of time for our computers to get organized now that you've requested it. In the meantime, please take a moment to watch this presentation, because now that you have our amazing guide all about learning to actually tune your pipes, I want to show you how to really put this to its best use and make sure that you don't stumble on some common pitfalls that derail a lot of pipers along their journey to tuning mastery. So let's get down to it. Do you feel frustrated, helpless, maybe even a little angry because you can't get your bagpipes in tune? I've been teaching and performing bagpipes now for about 20 years all over the world. I've taught countless individual players, been a full-time instructor of junior bands. I've pipe majored a grade 1 band that actually qualified for the World Championship final. I've won the World Championships as a playing member of a grade 1 band. I've taught workshops for dozens of intermediate bands, and you know, the #1 issue that plagues learning pipers is undoubtedly, and you guessed it because why are we here, right? Not being able to tune their pipes. You see, tuning your pipes is indeed difficult to do. There are a lot of moving pieces to our great instrument and several ever-changing variables involved with tuning that make it a challenging moving target to hit. But tuning is far from impossible. Similar to riding a bike, it's a skill that you have to develop from the ground up. Once you learn the basics, you're gonna wobble for a while, right? Then one day, the process suddenly seems instinctual, and that's it. Is it difficult to do it first? Of course. Can anyone learn to do it with the right process and work ethic? Wait for it now. Yes. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. The real world challenge with bagpipe tuning is that it's far less common than riding a bike. Not that many people in your bagpiping community are likely to be excellent tuners. Meanwhile, right, tons of people probably in your local neighborhood are likely to have a good feel for riding a bike. That's something I can do and pretty much everybody I know can do. Most of your fellow pipers, though, even though they're likely to be very nice people, they've already fallen for at least one of the 2 deadly myths about bagpipe tuning long ago, and resultantly they've given up on being able to tune for real. And so for you, as you struggle with tuning, you're going to reach out to your friends and mentors asking for help. But tragically, it's all too common to hear just how well one or both of the 2 great tuning myths have served these nice folks in learning to tune, and how they can help you get set up on the same path, even though their pipes don't sound good when they play. But don't pay attention to that, right? What's that, you ask? What are the 2 deadly myths of bagpipe tuning? Alright, so I nearly forgot. Here they are. Myth number 1 is that you need a great ear to learn to tune your bagpipes. This is a myth. It's dead wrong. That's like saying you need to have a natural feel for the balance of riding a bike before you even know how the bike works. No, this is utter nonsense. You're going to develop a good ear just as you would develop a good sense of balance once you learn the correct skills and concepts and begin putting them into practice on a day-to-day basis. Don't fall for this myth, okay? It's just common sense. Myth number 2 is that you need a digital bagpipe tuner to tune your pipes. Again, this is a super big myth. This is like saying that you need a calculator to learn to multiply. No, you do not need a machine to help you learn the skill of tuning. You need to, wait for it, learn the skills of tuning. As a matter of fact, becoming dependent on this inferior tool will make you a far worse bagpipe tuner than you would be if you say it with me now. Just learn the skills of bagpipe tuning. Does an airplane pilot learn to land a plane using computer autopilot software? No. Does a toddler use grammar checking software to learn to speak English? No. When you take a driver's test, do they let you use your backup camera or parallel parking assisting software? No. And there's a reason for all of this. It's that actually learning the skill is the best way to get the job done. Bagpipe tuning is unequivocally 100% the same way. So, let's move on and I'll get off my soapbox. But let's bring things back down a notch, and I want you to simply picture the best piper you can think of. Think of the world-famous pipers that you've seen on YouTube, and if you're lucky enough, maybe you've even seen them in person. Are they struggling to tune their pipes? Are they overwhelmed with the process, never sounding great, eyes glued to a digital tuner to desperately try to come up with something that sounds halfway decent? Of course not. As a matter of fact, they sound beautifully in tune pretty much constantly, even when they're making adjustments to improve their tuning even further. And guess what? For the most part, it really is as easy for them as they make it look. So how have they learned to do this? Are all of these pipers super mega genius prodigies that were magically born knowing what a perfectly tuned bagpipe should sound like? No, okay? Instead, they learned the correct process of tuning their pipes long ago. And over time, with a lot of practice, that process became somewhat instinctual. And then, over even more time, that instinct became increasingly honed until they literally couldn't do it wrong. It just sounds pristine all the time when these folks tune their pipes. So that's what you need to do now. You've got to learn the process, and that's what we're here to help you with. How long will it be until you literally can't do it wrong? Until you sound utterly pristine all the time? Well, probably it's going to take a long time, but you're going to see earth-shattering improvement fast if you decide to dig in and learn the right process the right way starting now. How good would that feel, right? I think it would probably feel pretty great. Today, all right, you might be the nice guy but sounds awful piper in your band. We all know that guy. And if you don't know that guy, you might be that guy. Now, a month from now, after you put in some work and then learn the process of bagpipe tuning, you could become the piper people actually like listening to guy because he can tune his pipes. Oh, and they'll still think you're a nice guy, so don't worry about it because you are a nice guy, right? So, how about it? Are you ready to dive into some tuning? Next up, I want to introduce your bagpipe tuning cycle success plan. Okay, so in addition to teaching over the past 2 decades, I've also performed in some pretty high stakes performances and done pretty well. As I alluded to before, in 2011, I led an American pipe band to the World Championship final in grade 1. In 2017, I won the USA Silver Medal and I won the World Championships as a playing member with the Inverarian District Pipe Band. The foundation of each of these successes was a great sounding bagpipe with beautifully accurate tuning. I religiously execute the same relatively simple 6-step cycle every time I play my pipes, much like an airplane pilot uses his in-flight checklists every time he flies, and that's what sets me up to have such successful performances on a fairly regular basis. If I lose track of my basic tuning routine, I drastically increase the odds of crashing and burning due to my instrument sounding subpar. You have to face the music with me here. If your pipes are out of tune, even your closest friends will want to tune you out, and your harshest critics will definitely tune you out. Now, you already have access to our basic cheat sheet that we use to outline the 6 steps of the bagpipe tuning cycle. But to make the most of it, you're going to want to complete the process. In addition to this written information we've already sent you, I'd like to also offer you our Success Plan video course that teaches our bagpipe tuning cycle process in depth. This is what you really need to properly learn the process and to solve this tuning issue once and for all. In addition to reading about learning to tune your drones to low A, and it is low A you should be tuning to, by the way, folks, we'll be able to show you now the process in video form, so you'll actually have a true example to run with, rather than quickly trying to cover how to balance your low A and high A, okay? We're going to be able to show you in a complete video lesson and discuss the underlying scientific concept between balancing and chanter that will skyrocket your understanding of the instrument and how to tune it. None of your tuning skills will amount to anything if you don't fully understand what we lovingly call the pitch time continuum, the aspect of tuning that no digital tuner could even understand or predict, hence why it hurts your tuning more than it helps when you use a bagpipe tuner. We also have plenty of tuning demonstrations in video form for you to soak in. We've got in-depth written articles if you like to read like many folks do, or in addition to watching video. And this is going to give you more than you probably ever wanted to know about the 6 steps of the tuning process. This course will set you up to learn how to tune your bagpipes the right way, guaranteed. Now, generally, it's a $47 course that we offer on the Dojo U website. But today only, as a follow-up to the free PDF guide, we're offering it now for $7. If you're thinking $7 is cheap, what's the catch? Then here are 3 reasons that you should soak in to put your mind at ease. $7 puts this information within the reach of everyone, from the hobbyist piper to the serious piper, from the street band to the high-level competitive band, and it weeds out the freebie seekers. We only want serious bagpipers who take action, and in our experience, charging anything, even if it's a small amount like $1, will get rid of 99% of the folks who really aren't that serious about getting better at bagpiping. And lastly, from the business perspective, we tested it, and $7 turned the most profit for us in the long run. And look, we're in business here, we're trying to sell you a product, so we're going to tell you how it is. We also believe that once you experience this success plan, you'll want more, and maybe, just maybe, you'll come back at some point and buy more, or possibly upgrade to a Dojo U Premium membership where you get access to our complete success plan library. But that's it, right? There's no fine print, no hidden trials, no shenanigans. Just the information you need and the results you want. The only real catch here is that this offer is scarce. Once you close this webpage, you won't find this course for $7 again. So be sure to act now while you still can. And if you're ready to dive in, just click the Add to Cart button below now to get started learning the basics of bagpipe tuning. Hopefully, we'll see you in there.